Everybody, welcome Nadia Bolz Weber to the stage. Nadia Bolz Weber is tall for a woman, foul-mouthed for a preacher, grammatically challenged for a best-selling author, kind of an asshole for a spiritual leader, inflexible for a yogi, and surprisingly hopeful for a cynic. Please welcome Nadia to the stage.
That's fine. When my mother discovered a box full of body bags and toe tags in her garage, she naturally assumed I would know why they were there. I always seemed to inhabit a world that was unfamiliar to my own mother. I was 23 at the time and had a few months of sobriety under my belt, but had already totaled a couple of her cars, dropped out of college, hitchhiked up the coast of California, been arrested at a protest, and had somehow gotten involved in an armed land rights battle for a while up in northern New Mexico. And I can't recall what it meant at the time, but once I impersonated a gecko eating a head of cabbage at a feminist performance art event. I'm fairly certain it was here at the Mercury. Peggy, on the other hand, was raised in a coal mining camp in Kentucky. So her wild daughter was the only thing in her life that could possibly explain why a box of body bags and toe tags ended up in her suburban Denver garage. But honest to God, I had nothing to do with it. At first, Peggy seemed incredulous at my denial, but then also relieved when I said I'd come right over and deal with the mystery of the body bags. When I arrived at my parents' garage, I found a box sitting politely next to an old oil stain. Its brown flaps opened to reveal 24 identical packages containing blue body bags, complete with, and this was the thrilling part, an illustration for how to place the toe tag on the cadaver. I also discovered that the address label was for Mr. Douglas, the guy who lived next door who worked in medical supplies. He was so grateful when I returned the box to him that I took the opportunity to ask for a finder's fee. Mr. Douglas, I asked boldly, would it be okay if I kept one for myself? When he asked what for, I replied, well, obviously one of these would be the best white elephant gift ever. I held on to that little blue package for a long time, as I wasn't someone who was invited to many white elephant dinners. But that was okay. I was patient. I knew the value of what I had. 5 years later, my life had taken a turn when I met my now ex-husband, then future husband, a very nice Lutheran seminary student from a small town in Texas. I chose a path with the nice Texan that led more toward oil stains on the garage of a suburban home than it led toward lizard-themed feminist performance art. And 10 days after our wedding, we moved to Eugene, Oregon, where he became the intern pastor, and I became the intern pastor's wife, who didn't look anything like a Lutheran. All I knew was that he was a nice guy, and I didn't want to fuck it up for him. And the best way to not fuck it up for him was for me to pretend I was normal. Pretend I didn't have the past I had. Pretend I didn't sometimes have a dark heart. Pretend I could small talk. So I took what I now see as desperate measures. I removed my tongue ring because it was fucking 1996. I hid all my tattoos and I watched my language. I even, and I'm a little ashamed of this, but I even bought clothes from the Gap. I settled into my life as the intern pastor's wife as best I could. On Sunday mornings, I smiled and attempted small talk. And on Tuesday nights, I showed up for church choir practice in camouflage, which for me meant chinos and a cardigan. At the time, I was employed to cook meals for folks with HIV. We had a lovely little cottage called the Acorn Center, where HIV-positive men and women could come and be with their fellows and eat a warm meal. When winter 1997 rolled around, I walked into my first Advent Vespers service, not entirely sure what Advent was or what Vespers was. On those Wednesday nights in December, my now ex-husband, then new husband, helped lead a small, peaceful prayer service. The greenery of an Advent wreath gleamed by the shifting light of the candles placed around the room. And there we gathered in a silence particular to the time of year when the days are so short. I would come to that prayer service straight from the Acorn Center, from chaos to stillness. And the first time I sang one of the prayers, the Magnificat, Mary's song, the social revolutionary aspect of it just like sliced me open. It says, "You have cast the mighty down from their thrones and uplifted the humble of heart. You filled the hungry with wondrous things and left the wealthy no part." I thought that it was the most radical and beautiful thing I had ever heard. I did not know at the time that it was lifted straight from Luke's gospel and not just some leftist songbook. And I cried the first time I sang it. Because during the day I would feed emaciated junkies and gay men, many of whom were at the mercy of a heartless government system to meet their needs. And then on Wednesday evenings, I'd sing of a God who fills the hungry and uplifts the humble. And singing that made the rest of my week make more sense. It made me make more sense. It knit together these two worlds I was living in. And I soon found myself falling in love with both my clients at the Acorn Center and with the old ladies at United Lutheran Church. Perhaps I was wrong to think that I had to hide who I was. The smiles on Sunday morning were coming with more ease, even if the small talk didn't. And on the final week of Advent, it was announced that the church's yearly white elephant dinner would be held on New Year's Day. This was it. My hour had come. We gathered at the home of a retired sociology professor from church, filled our little tiny plates with baby carrots and cucumber sandwiches, and eventually sat in a circle for the main event. My confidence was high. Of all the odd, ironic, hilarious gifts that I was certain sat wrapped at our feet, surely a body bag and toe tag, complete with illustrations, would carry the day. The rules were clear. One's turn consists of either choosing a random gift to unwrap or stealing an already unwrapped gift in the possession of someone whose turn came before you. The first person took their turn and unwrapped what appeared to be a small statue of African origin, and everyone roared with laughter. A fluke, surely. A polite response to a stupid white elephant gift, I was sure. Next to be revealed was a small pillow covered in a Mexican flag. More laughter. The African statue lady traded for the Mexican flag pillow. As each gift was unwrapped, one piece of ethnic art after another, my heart sank and my blood pressure rose. I had drawn one of the last numbers, so I could do nothing but watch it all happen. Finally, it was my turn to reach for a gift, a small box about the size of a pack of Marlboros. I unwrapped not a piece of ethnic art, but a bar of fancy rose-scented soap. Soap, for fuck's sake. Then the octogenarian next to me reached for my most perfect white elephant gift ever, which I'd wrapped in the cheeriest, most ironic snowman paper ever. And her shaking, papery hands took eerily long to unwrap the contents. She then turned it over several times as if its secrets could be revealed that way. And I realized that, barring a freak accident, she was definitely the closest to death of all of us. Well, what is it, Betty? A voice from behind the sofa asked. Well, I don't. She struggled to name what she had unwrapped. I think it's a shroud. Silence, confusion, panic. No one knew it was mine. I think nobody knew it was mine. Oh shit, do I hide behind my cardigan and let my perfect white elephant gift go to waste? I had a split second to decide what to do. My arm shot up before I even knew I'd made a decision. I'll trade you for this fancy soap! I heard mutters of, well, what in the world? Why would anyone want that? That soap is so nice. Then the retired sociology professor said knowingly to his wife, oh, I know why Nadia wants it. I think it's for her job. No, I didn't need a body bag for my clients. But I did keep that body bag and toe tag for years because I'm still not someone who's invited to many white elephant dinners. But that's okay. I'm patient. I know the value of what I have. And there is no cardigan in the world that could or should ever hide it. Thank you.